Imagine a vast, dusty plain stretching as far as the eye can see, where the earth is cracked and dry beneath the relentless sky. The sun beats down mercilessly, casting long shadows and shimmering heat waves that blur the horizon. On this scorched land, two mighty armies stand face to face, their banners fluttering in the hot wind, ready for a battle that will decide the fate of a kingdom and echo through the ages. This is Kurukshetra, the legendary stage for the epic Mahabharata, where destinies will be forged and history will be written in blood and valor. Amongst the countless warriors, a young prince named Arjuna stands tall in his chariot, his bow and arrows at the ready, his armor gleaming in the morning light. But Arjuna is not filled with the thirst for battle or the pride of a warrior. Instead, he is overcome with doubt and despair, his mind swirling with questions and fears. As Arjuna surveys the battlefield, he sees not just enemies, but his own kin, friends, and elders arrayed against him. His heart sinks under the weight of what is to come. He sees his beloved Bhishma, the wise patriarch of his family, and his revered guru, Dronacharya, both standing on the opposing side, ready to fight. How can he, Arjuna, even think of raising his weapons against those he loves and respects? The very thought tears at his soul. The weight of this realization crashes over Arjuna. His throat tightens with emotion, his body trembles, and his spirit falters in the face of such an impossible choice. He turns to Krishna, his charioteer and friend, seeking guidance and solace, his voice choked with anguish and uncertainty. "Krishna," he whispers, "I cannot fight. I cannot kill my own family, my teachers, those I revere. The burden is too great and my heart is too heavy to bear." To truly grasp the depth of Arjuna's inner conflict, we must first understand the extraordinary figure that was Bhishma. Bhishma was not just any warrior on the battlefield. He was the revered granduncle to both the Pandavas, Arjuna's own family, and the Kauravas, their cousins and rivals. His presence was a bridge between two warring dynasties, a living symbol of their shared heritage. Bhishma was a figure of immense strength, wisdom, and legendary prowess. He was renowned across the land for his unmatched skills as a warrior, but even more so for his unwavering principles. In his youth, he had taken a solemn vow of celibacy and lifelong service to the throne, sacrificing his own happiness for the greater good of the kingdom. He was the very embodiment of duty, loyalty, and self-sacrifice. His word was his bond, and his actions set the highest standard for honor in the royal court. Out of his deep sense of responsibility, Bhishma had pledged to protect the throne of Hastinapura, no matter who occupied it. This vow became the guiding force of his life, shaping every decision he made. Now, as the throne became the center of a bitter struggle, Bhishma found himself at the heart of a divided family. The kingdom he had devoted his life to was torn apart by ambition and rivalry. Though his heart ached with sorrow, Bhishma felt bound by his sacred vow to fight for the Kauravas. This meant he would have to stand against the very nephews he had watched grow up, including Arjuna, whom he loved dearly. Arjuna had grown up listening to stories of Bhishma's valor and righteousness. He had seen time and again the elder's unwavering commitment to justice and duty, and had always looked up to him as a role model and guide. The very thought of raising his bow against Bhishma filled Arjuna with dread and anguish. It felt like an act of sacrilege, a betrayal of everything he held sacred, and a challenge to the very values he had been taught to honor. Adding to Arjuna's anguish was the sight of his beloved guru, Dronacharya, standing amongst his enemies. Dronacharya was a master archer, a skilled warrior, but most importantly, a patient and loving teacher. He had nurtured Arjuna's skills, shared his knowledge without reservation, and treated him like his own son. Arjuna remembered the long hours of practice, the lessons learned, the bond they had forged. How could he even fathom the thought of facing his guru in battle? Dronacharya, bound by his loyalty to the kingdom, had chosen the side of the Kauravas. He stood ready to fight, even if it meant clashing swords with his favorite student. This was the cruel twist of fate that tormented Arjuna. He was bound by duty to fight for his rightful claim, yet his heart rebelled against the very thought of harming those he held dear. Arjuna's voice cracks as he speaks, his words heavy with despair. "Krishna," he he cries. I see my teachers, my grandfather, my uncles and cousins all arrayed for battle. How can I, Krishna, find happiness in killing my own kin? His words echo across the battlefield, a testament to his anguish. He continues, his voice filled with sorrow. I do not desire victory, Krishna. I do not seek the kingdom, nor its pleasures. What good is a kingdom? What good is life itself, if I have to stain my hands with the blood of my loved ones? Arjuna's words are not those of a coward. They are the words of a man grappling with the heavy burden of dharma, the complex concept of righteous duty. His dilemma is not about choosing between right and wrong. It is about choosing between two rights, two duties that seem to contradict each other. Arjuna's dilemma is, at its core, a struggle with dharma. In the heart of the Mahabharata, we find Arjuna standing at a crossroads, torn between his responsibilities and his emotions. His inner conflict is not just about a battle, but about the very nature of what it means to do the right thing when faced with impossible choices. Dharma is, well, a complex concept in Hinduism, encompassing duty, righteousness, ethics, and really, the very essence of living a good life. It is not a single rule or law, but a guiding principle that shapes every action, every decision, and every relationship. Dharma is the thread that weaves together the fabric of society and the individual soul. It is a path guided by conscience, by a higher understanding of right action. The sages teach that true dharma is not always obvious. It requires reflection, wisdom, and sometimes great courage to follow. On one hand, Arjuna's dharma as a warrior, as a kshatriya, is to fight for righteousness, to protect the weak, and to uphold justice. His role demands bravery and a willingness to stand up against wrongdoing, even when the cost is high. He is bound by duty to oppose the injustice perpetrated by the Kauravas and claim his rightful place. To turn away from this responsibility would mean allowing evil to triumph and betraying the trust placed in him by his family and his people. On the other hand, his dharma as a son, a grandson, and a student dictates respect and loyalty towards his elders and teachers, even if they stand against him. These are the very people who shaped his life, taught him values, and guided him since childhood. How can he fulfill one dharma without seemingly violating the other? The weight of these conflicting duties presses heavily on his heart, making every choice feel like a betrayal of something sacred. How can he balance the scales of duty when both sides are laden with such profound obligations? The struggle is not just external, but a deep internal battle between love, loyalty, and justice. This is the crux of Arjuna's dilemma, a dilemma that resonates with the human experience across cultures and generations. We all, at some point, face moments where our duties seem to clash, and the right path is shrouded in uncertainty. Arjuna's story reminds us that the journey to understanding our own dharma is both universal and deeply personal. Arjuna's anguish on the battlefield is not just a story from a distant past. It really reflects the dilemmas we all face in our own lives, the struggles with right and wrong, and those internal battles between our conscience and our desires. We may not be warriors facing a literal battlefield, but honestly, we all have our own metaphorical battles to fight. Often, we find ourselves torn between our responsibilities and our desires, our loyalty to family, and our commitment to our own principles. Do we speak up against injustice, even if it means risking our relationships? Do we prioritize our own happiness or the happiness of those we love? Arjuna's story reminds us that there are no easy answers to these questions. Life is not a simplistic battle between good and evil. It is, in fact, a complex tapestry of choices, consequences, and the constant striving to live a life aligned with our values. Consider, for instance, a young person who discovers their company is engaging in unethical practices. Their dharma as an employee might dictate loyalty to the company, but their dharma as a responsible citizen might compel them to expose the wrongdoing. Or, imagine a doctor who has to make a difficult medical decision that could potentially save one life but harm another. Their dharma as a healer is tested as they grapple with the weight of their oath. These are just a few examples of how Arjuna's dilemma resonates with us even today. We may not face the same choices as him, But the underlying conflict between duty and personal inclinations, between what we are expected to do and what we feel is right, is a universal human experience. The Bhagavad Gita, the sacred Hindu text that recounts the dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna, offers profound insights into navigating these complex dilemmas. Krishna's counsel to Arjuna is not a call to abandon one's duty or to suppress one's emotions. Instead, it is a call to action with clarity and understanding, to act from a place of dharma, not from a place of attachment or aversion. Krishna reminds Arjuna that true dharma lies in performing one's duty without attachment to the fruits of one's actions. He emphasizes the importance of selflessness, of acting for the greater good, even when it is difficult. Krishna's words offer solace and guidance, reminding us that we are not alone in our struggles. They teach us the importance of seeking wisdom, of introspection, and of aligning our actions with our highest understanding of what is right. The story of Arjuna's dilemma continues to resonate thousands of years after it was first told. It reminds us that life is not about easy choices, but about striving to make the best choices we can, even in the face of adversity and uncertainty. Arjuna's struggle is a testament to the human condition, a timeless reminder that true strength lies not in brute force, but in the courage to confront our inner demons, to question, to seek wisdom, and to act with integrity, even when it is difficult. The Bhagavad Gita's message is a beacon of hope, a guide for navigating the complexities of life and for striving to live a life of purpose and meaning.